In the summer of 2023, a mysterious bag of white powder was discovered in one of the most secure buildings in the world, the White House. It wasn't a TV drama. It was real. Surveillance, lockdowns, elite investigations, and still no clear answers. Who left it? Why? And how did it get past the tightest security on the planet? What you're about to hear isn't conspiracy. It's a timeline that leaves more questions than answers. Stay with us until the very end. On July 2, 2023, a suspicious white powder was discovered in a small plastic bag inside the West Wing of the White House. Not in some obscure hallway, but in a storage cubby near the West Executive entrance, a location frequently used by staff and guests on official business. Within minutes, the area was locked down. The Secret Service called in the hazmat team, and nearby zones were evacuated. Preliminary field tests confirmed it. The substance was white powder. When the story broke publicly on July 4th, ironically, on Independence Day, the media and public erupted. How did illegal drugs end up inside the White House, the epicenter of American power, surrounded by layers of armed security, cameras, and checkpoints? Theories spread like wildfire. Some claimed it had to be left by a visitor. Others suggested it pointed to someone inside the administration. The fact that the White House did not immediately release surveillance footage or a suspect's name only deepened the speculation. The U.S. Secret Service took control of the investigation. Dozens of individuals who had access to the area were questioned. Fingerprints and DNA were tested on the bag. Surveillance footage from the surrounding zones was reviewed. Even visitor logs were audited. And yet, within just 11 days, on July 13th, the Secret Service closed the case, with no suspects identified, no arrests, and no definitive explanation. The stated reason? Quote, lack of physical evidence, unquote. This only added fuel to the fire. Why did the investigation wrap up so quickly? Why were security cameras in one of the most surveilled buildings in the world not conclusive? Critics pointed out that the White House has layers of access control. Everyone coming in must go through rigorous screening. Phones are logged. Visitors are watched. Was someone being protected? The fact that the discovery came just days after Hunter Biden, the president's son, had been seen at the White House and, who has a public history of drug use, became a point of media and public focus. But the White House firmly denied any connection. Political opponents seized the moment. Conservative voices accused the administration of a cover-up. Congressional Republicans demanded more transparency. Some even pushed for formal hearings. The phrase "White Powder Gate" began trending across social media. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre faced intense questioning. She repeatedly emphasized that the area where the white powder was found was used by visitors and guests, not by staff or the first family. But the public wasn't satisfied. Former law enforcement and intelligence officers voiced deep concern. If white powder could be smuggled in undetected, what else could? Weapons, deadly substances. The credibility of White House security and the Secret Service was suddenly under national scrutiny. Some quietly admitted that while the West Wing had cameras, there were blind spots, especially in the storage cubby area. Others suggested the security protocol may have been deliberately circumvented. To this day, no one knows who brought the white powder into the White House. Was it a careless visitor? A political staffer? Someone with more power than we'll ever know? Or was it a bizarre fluke that slipped through the system? The unanswered questions remain, and so does the unease. No matter how it happened, the 2023 White House white powder incident marked a disturbing first in American history. It shattered the illusion that some places are impenetrable. It reminded the world that even the highest levels of power are not immune to chaos, secrecy, and scandal. And it left behind a troubling mystery. How much do we really know about what goes on behind closed doors, even at the very top?